Hi, everyone. Okay, let me try that again. Hi, everyone. There's a song by B.B. Winans that goes something like this. I come from here, you come from there. Two different lifestyles. Who know that song? Who knows that song? You don't know B.B. Winans? Oh, you don't know the song? Oh, you know the chorus? Oh, Bafuni chorus. My name is Umbusi, and I am a speaker on transformational leadership. Right? That's very important. I'm not a motivational speaker. I actually went to school. Now, and I'm saying this deliberately so that you don't listen with the ears of listening to a motivational speaker. I may be inspirational in the next 10 minutes, right? But I am not a motivational speaker. I passed my degree at University of Natal, not UKZN. University of Natal, I passed cum laude in financial accounting. So I specialize on transformational leadership, not just leadership, right? So there are aspects of leadership that I do not know. But over the past 20 years, I have been studying, researching, teaching, consulting on transformational leadership. And that's important because we contrast transformational leadership with its opposite devil, I almost said Tabo Pester, with its opposite devil, which is the transactional leadership. Now, what's a transactional leader? It is that colleague at work, right, who will never do anything for anyone unless they can gain something from it. Right? Another speaker calls them salary collectors. They are at work, they are present in the organization purely for one reason, selfish reasons. All right? So I've got 3 questions to ask you quickly. First one, what is leadership? Turn to the person sitting next to you. Explain to them, like you are explaining to a 5-year-old, what is leadership? Quickly. Speak to the person next to you. All right. So, quickly, the topic and the theme of this conference is on agility and ethics. Am I right? Agility, or maybe I should say it in Zulu, agility and ethics, isn't it? Now, I want to pose a challenge to you that agility actually depends on your ethics. And that is what leadership is. I'm glad the previous speaker, Sheng, you've covered most of my points, and that is why it's easy for me to just go and land. All right? I'm not going to land at Bulembu Airport, but, I'm just going to land. Don't worry about that. All right. So, what is leadership? Leadership, and I define this in my book, the very first book I wrote, this one. If you don't have a copy of this book, right, your library is not complete. Right? Your library is not complete. This book is available to you. I define leadership in this book, and I say it is when three things converge. Look at someone next to you and say three things. Come, look at them and say three things. Sound convincing. Say three things. Right, go on now and say three constructs. All right, go on for the last one, three faculties. Right, there are three faculties required for leadership. One is a radically progressive mindset. Did you hear that? A what? A radically progressive mindset. It cannot be that we have leaders who are just radical and destructive. Neither can we have leaders who are just progressive but not radical. The combination of the two is what will get us to our destination, which is a successful individual, a successful family, community, companies, government, and eventually South Africa. That combination of a radically progressive mindset is important. Next one. Now, that mindset, that kind of mindset, once you discover it, it must be fused with your strong belief. Come on, say strong belief. Unwavering belief. Pella, look at the person next to you. Say unwavering belief. Unrelenting. Sound like you are educated. Come, say unrelenting. Hey, the Sothos are saying unrelenting. But we forgive you, don't worry. Because the Zulus are also messing it up. Unrelenting. You must have an unwavering, strong belief in your natural abilities. You came to earth with a set of abilities. They are already built into you. You don't have to go looking for them. Of course, some of you sitting in this room today, you shouldn't be accountants. Yeah, you passed accounting like me, cum laude at that. I'm not an accountant. I couldn't be an accountant. Can I tell you why? I wouldn't want to die for accounting. I think I'm coming closer now. Hello? I have other talents in my life that I would die for, and I've already suffered for, and in other areas I'm continuing to suffer for because I stand for something. Now, if you cannot stand for what you've studied, that's not your area of natural gifting. You've got the intellectual accent to it, but it is not your natural. It's not something you're passionate about. It's not something you would lose your BMW for when you are asked to sign for that tender that you're not supposed to sign for. Hence, I'm saying at the beginning that your agility, your capability of doing things faster and quicker and making processes work for clients, right, is dependent on the force of your ethics. Which brings me to the third aspect. What makes a leader? It is a radically progressive mindset fused with a strong belief in your natural abilities and then protected by your unshakable values. Look at the person next to you and say unshakable values. Dr. Mel already spoke a lot yesterday about values. All right? Which brings me to my presentation. All the qualities you have, they give you moral force. Come, say moral force. Say moral force. This is why your relationships don't work. You don't have moral force. Did I just say it? You were not expecting it, ne? Listen. There are more exes that you are still going to have because you do not have what? In Zulu, we call it inomfi. Say it inomfi. Uzbute. Uzbute. A magnet. What attracts you to organizations, right? Most organizations, they are attracted by your skills. Come on, say skills. Skills, competencies, qualifications. But guess what? They fire you for behavior. That's the moral force. The qualities that make you distinct from everybody else. All right? Now, morality, therefore, is defined by those who lend you the scepter of leadership. In other words, the people who give you a job are the ones who decide how you should behave. Can I say it? Not the ones who don't want to commit on email for you to release the funds. Am I going too deep? Am I going too deep? So the people who give you a job, in other words, the organization, the taxpayers, are the ones who give you, who lend you leadership, who say, come and lead in this area as a trainee accountant or as a junior management accountant, whatever the position is. And they define through legislation and regulation how you should behave. Are you ready? Are you ready? The question is not who's got the power. Is it the politicians? Is it the executives of the municipality? That's not the question. The question is, do you have the power to stand for your morality? How important is your morality? That depends on the next set of 3 slides before I come to a close, right? So, your natural genius is what attracts people to you, but your character is the foundation. So if you don't have character, you will lose the job you have. Come, look at the person next to you. Look at the person next, say, he's right. Right? Now, here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. If you have a good character, you will still lose your job. How? Come, tell the person, he's still right. What am I saying to you? I'm saying that South Africa, which is my next question, does South Africa have a chance? Tell the person next to you the answer to that. Does South Africa have a chance? Yeah, that's my next question. Does SA have a chance? Talk to the person next to you. Look at 50 years from now. Do you see success in South Africa? Now, can I answer that question? South Africa has a chance at success, stroke does not have a chance of success, depending on what you know about yourself. Now, tell the person next to you, Minanje, I'm not willing to suffer for the next generation. Say it. Tell the person next to you, I'm not willing to be, for my car to be repossessed by West Bank. I'm not willing. And guess what? I've already invested too much in this to be fired from a municipality just because I will not do something. I'm going to find ways of doing things. They call it creative accounting, creative auditing. Hello? And have you noticed that social media has branded Thabo Bester as intellectual and intelligent and all that? He's not intelligent. Yeah, you heard it from me today. He's not intelligent. He had money and he walked out of jail. How difficult is that? I guess you didn't think of it that way, isn't it? Because of his character, it was easy for him to be agile. So, from the positive perspective and both from the negative perspective, if you have a strong character and you are a force to be reckoned with, listen, you are going to be agile, whether for the right reasons and whether for the wrong reasons. The law is the same. If you plant a seed and you allow time, there's going to be a harvest. All right? Now, the Burj Khalifa. How many know this building? How many have been in this building? I haven't either. Not yet. Apparently, it's the tallest building in the world, right? The Burj Khalifa. Now, we therefore define your character and your ethics based on the people who continue to believe that you are ethical. Hello? And if people continue to believe that you are ethical, it means they expect you to be agile as well. So in other words, they will take your word for it because you have a brand that is trusted. That is why some of us have bought the prime water. Did I say water? All right. So I hope no one here has bought that prime water. I have bought it. I'm joking, of course. I haven't bought it. I will not buy water for thousands of friends. Water. There's some mad. All right. Now, the Burj Khalifa, when you go into the Burj Khalifa, you're not worried about the height because you trust. There is what? Trust, isn't it? If they question your ideas, the problem is not with your brilliant ideas. The problem is that they don't trust you yet. Hello? Because character is the foundation of leadership. For you to lead in your area as an intern, as an employee when they absorb you, by the way, I hope they don't absorb you, but when you did I just say that? No, seriously, I hope they don't absorb you. I hope they're desperate for you because they see value in you. I am so tired of automatic things in South Africa. We need things that have force, that have moral force, that have attraction. So that when we employ a person, they've proven in the 3 years or 5 years being interns that they actually are here to add value. You cannot legislate character. You can put in measures to guard against it, but you cannot legislate it. So I'm saying when you enter the Burj Khalifa, you trust that the building is strong. All right? You trust that the building can sustain you, and therefore you enter the building without even questioning its height. And you go even to the highest, to the pinnacle of this building, and you don't question anything. Imagine if your contribution in your municipality could reach those levels of trust, where you say something controversial, and instead of them trying to get rid of you, they actually trust you. Are you trustworthy? Or are you just there? Are you trustworthy? Do you come to work on Monday? Do you? And during municipal time, are you conducting your own business? You know, a side hustle. Are you selling perfume on municipal laptop? All right? So I'm saying you cannot lead without character, but character is what makes you a leader worth following. So you cannot do without being ethical. Can't do without it. All right, you can try it, but you won't succeed. My last question. What is the key role of a leader? Talk to the person next to you. What's the key role of a leader? If a leader would leave everything else, what's the one thing a leader must do in an organization? I mean, be honest with the person next to you if you don't know. Just say, I don't know. It's okay. Now, the key role of a leader is the development of the next leaders. Can I say that again? The main role of a leader is that when you have a leader, when you are the leader, you must be in the business of producing more leaders. Are you ready? Are you ready? Who are more powerful than you, more effective than you, more professional than you. That's the role of the leader, producing the next leaders. I see my leader there at the back. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. I see my leader there at the back. All right? So the role of a leader is not to jola nama interns. Hey, yeah. Did I go there? And I mean both sexes. I'm not just talking about male leaders. I'm talking both sexes. Are you ready? Are you ready? The role of an intern who is a leader is not to jola with our party. Are you with me? And the role of you as a leader in the intern space, in the internship space, is not to pin other colleagues, right, against our party. You're not that kind of, you shouldn't be that kind of instrument. You should be an instrument for good. Hello? Therefore, if your speech, if your conversation that does not improve silence, please don't say anything. You will never get anywhere talking badly about your colleagues so that you gain privileges. All right? I was wrong when I said this last question. Here's the last question. When did you choose to become a leader? Talk to the person next to you. This is my last question. When did you choose? What was the date? What was the month? What was the year? What was the place you made a decision to become a leader? Again, I'm asking you to be honest. Be honest and say, actually, there hasn't been such a day. There's never been such a day. All right. So, by show of hands, let me see. Who here are committed leaders? Committed leaders. Who here are committed leaders? All right. And then the other question is, who is thinking about becoming a leader, but is not sure? All right. I'm going to sound a bit spiritual because leadership, I believe, is deeply spiritual. By spiritual, I don't mean religious. Right? Leadership is a pure science. And by pure science, I mean you know deep in your heart if you are a leader or not. Can I tell you how you know? Can I tell you how you know? You have not found something to die for. Now, notice I'm using the word death, right? I'm going too far when actually you haven't even found something to suffer for. You are not willing in the least to suffer for what you believe, for what you stand for. And that's how I know that you have not really made a decision to become a what? A leader. In fact, this word leader is brandied about everywhere. You know, people call themselves leadership these days. They call themselves chief. Hey, chief. Yeah, chief. Hey, leadership. Hey, my leader. Hey, mpati. You know, there's that word, mpati. Hey, mpati. And have you noticed that if you don't mention their title, they get offended? If you don't mention doctor so-and-so, or professor so-and-so, or chief this or chief that. And I'm glad I'm talking to CFOs, chief finance officers. Now, it's not the title that gives you credibility. It is what you are willing to die for that gives you credibility. All right? And that is what leadership is about. Leadership is when you are willing to stand by yourself, even against the whole world. Hello? And you say, I refuse to be moved. I believe in this, and I believe this is right, and I am willing to die for it. All right? So my submission this afternoon, therefore, I'm saying that for you to become agile, hello? For you to become agile, sustainably, I'm saying it depends whether do you have the foundation. What is the foundation? Ethical lifestyle, ethical thinking, ethical feelings, ethical actions. Are you ethical? You know, we define ethics, we define morality, we define all this as what you do when no one is looking. Right? But let me ask you, what do you really do when no one is looking? What do you really do? Let me ask you a question. Can the municipality scrutinize your cell phone? Your WhatsApp? Is it possible? Yeah, you'll get the best lawyer available for that, because you know what they're going to find in there, isn't it? Yeah, you know what they're going to find in there as it relates to your work. I'm not talking about personal stuff. I'm talking about as it relates to work. All right? Now, and then lastly, when character fails, leaders must remember that they are what? Human. And there is nothing wrong with failing. Because we were taught from a young age that failure is bad. Actually, failure is good. Because from success, you learn nothing. The only time you really learn something of value is when you fail. Right? Because when you fail, it reveals your incompetence. It reveals your shortcomings. And that's when you really become humble. And you embrace the situation, and then you try again. So I'm saying, therefore, that leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character. But if you must be without one, don't be without what? Character. A story is told of a professor in one of our universities here in South Africa who is a foreigner. Right? Who is a foreigner. And this professor is talking to one of our South African lecturers at the university. They are having a private conversation. The South African lecturer asked the professor, what do you think is the problem of South Africa in your own estimation or consideration? And the foreign professor, or the foreigner, the professor who is a foreigner, says that the problem with South Africa, which I find it to be a good problem. This is the foreigner speaking, right? I find this to be a good problem. He says the problem with South Africa is that South Africa is a country for everybody, which is owned by nobody. Can I say that again? South Africa, and this is a foreigner, this professor is a foreigner, he says, this is a good problem for me. For me, as a foreigner, it's good for me. The problem with South Africa is a country for everybody, which is owned by nobody. And I was troubled by this story as I was reading it. I was troubled by it. Until I remembered a principle of leadership that says, creative problem solving, that says, for you to find a needle in the haystack, what's the first thing to do? For you to find a needle in a haystack, what's the first thing you need to do? It's to own the haystack. Before you start looking, the first thing you do is you own the haystack. By the way, do you know what a haystack is? Ishon phela mangazi. A haystack amabhele otshani. You know amabhele otshani? That's a haystack. Right? For you to find a needle there, you must first own the haystack. And as I close this short talk, I want to challenge you. What do you own? What do you own? I know there's this Haval Jolion that you are thinking of. I know there's a new car called Pro. Apparently you speak to it and it's affordable, right? I know the Audi A4 Sportback. I know all the cars you want to own. I know that. But the question I'm asking you, what do you really own? How come you're a South African, you know nothing about minerals? You know nothing about land. You know nothing about farming. Right? What do you own? Do you own the municipality you're in? Or it's just an internship? Right? What do you own? What would you do with your life? What would you give for your country? I'm suggesting that you become ethical. You buy into being ethical so that you can sustain agility. Nelson Mandela once said, "Your Honor, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to suffer. And if need be, it's also an ideal for which I'm prepared to die." And if you want to know why is Mandela so famous, it is because of that decision he made. Right? You know the other guy with long hair, with Inchebe, called Jesus? You know that other guy? You've heard about that other guy, right? What sets him apart from other people who claim the same is that he actually died for his followers. Have you noticed that? All other people who claim to be God, they never died for their followers. It's only this guy, Maria, that he actually went to die for his followers. He actually did that. And I'm saying, until you own it, you will never die for it. If it is yours, you will die for it. But if it's not yours, then you will not be prepared to suffer for it. You will just be in the right clique so that you climb the corporate ladder, and South Africa will remain with the problems it has. Program Director, thank you for this time.